The southeast snowstorm forecast just took an unexpected turn, and what I'm about to show you changes everything we thought we knew about this weekend's weather. While most forecasters are playing it safe with conservative snow predictions, the latest European model run reveals a scenario that could rewrite winter weather history across the region. This isn't just another winter weather tease that fizzles out. We're tracking a legitimate snowfall event that could bring accumulating snow from northern Florida all the way to the Virginia coast. What makes this forecast particularly fascinating is the battle unfolding between the computer models, with some showing suppressed coastal snow, while others paint a much more aggressive picture. Before we dive into detailed forecasts for over 60 cities across the Southeast, I need to hear from you. Drop your city in the comments right now, and I'll give you specific snow chances. Seriously, whether you're in Atlanta, Jacksonville, Norfolk, Birmingham, or any city in between, comment your location and I'll address your forecast specifically. Your local observations and questions help me tailor these forecasts to address what matters most to communities across our region. So please engage with this community. And if you appreciate detailed weather analysis that goes beyond surface-level forecasting, hitting that subscribe button helps me continue bringing you these comprehensive weather insights. Let me start with the latest European model guidance, which has been surprisingly consistent with its coastal-focused snow scenario over the past several runs. The European solution shows an appetizer event beginning late Friday night into Saturday morning, bringing light snow to the Appalachian Mountains and mixing possibilities to the Piedmont regions. Starting in North Carolina, cities like Asheville face 70% snow probability with 2 to 4 inches possible, while Boone could see 3 to 6 inches given its elevation advantage. Moving eastward, Hickory shows 45% accumulation chance, Winston-Salem sits at 40% probability, and Greensboro faces 35% odds for measurable snow. High Point residents have 33% snow chances, while Burlington shows 30% probability. Comment below if you're from any of these triad communities. The Triangle region presents interesting variations. Raleigh faces 28% accumulation odds, Durham shows 30% probability, and Chapel Hill sits at 25% chance. Cary residents have 26% snow probability, while Wake Forest shows 32% chances. Let me know in comments which Triangle city you're watching from. Moving south into South Carolina, Columbia emerges as a key player with 65% snow probability and potential for 2 to 5 inches depending on track. Nearby Lexington shows 62% chances, while Irmo faces 60% probability. Columbia metro area folks, drop your neighborhood in comments. The upstate region shows promise. Greenville sits at 55% snow probability. Spartanburg faces 58% chances, and Anderson shows 50% odds. Greer residents have 52% probability, while Simpsonville shows 48% chances. Upstate viewers, let me know your specific concerns in the comments. Rock Hill faces 45% snow probability given its proximity to Charlotte, while York shows 42% chances, and Lancaster sits at 38% odds. The Charleston metro area emerges as high confidence. Charleston proper shows 85% snow probability with 3 to 6 inches possible. Mount Pleasant faces 83% chances. Somerville shows 80% probability, and Goose Creek sits at 78% odds. Low Country residents, comment your location. North Charleston shows 82% probability, while West Ashley faces 85% chances. This could be historic for the entire Charleston region. Moving toward the coast, Beaufort faces 75% snow probability, Hilton Head shows 70% chances, and Bluffton sits at 68% odds. Now let's examine Georgia cities, starting with Savannah, which shows impressive 88% snow probability with potential for 4 to 7 inches. Richmond Hill faces 85% chances, Pooler shows 87% probability, and Tybee Island sits at 82% odds. Savannah metro folks, comment below. Moving inland, Statesboro shows 78% snow probability. Hinesville faces 80% chances, and Brunswick sits at 75% odds. Augusta emerges as another high confidence area with 72% snow probability and potential for 2 to 5 inches of accumulation. Evans shows 70% chances. Martinez faces 68% probability, and Grovetown sits at 65% odds. CSRA residents, drop your thoughts and comments. Atlanta Metro presents more uncertainty. Atlanta proper shows 48% snow probability, though northern suburbs fare better. Marietta faces 52% chances. Roswell shows 55% probability, and Alpharetta sits at 58% odds given their northern locations. Duluth shows 54% probability, while Lawrenceville faces 50% chances. North Atlanta residents, comment your specific city for detailed analysis. Southern Atlanta suburbs show lower odds. Peachtree City sits at 42% probability, while Fayetteville faces 40% chances. Macon faces 45% snow probability. Warner Robins shows 43% chances, and Milledgeville sits at 38% odds. Columbus shows 35% probability. Albany faces 40% chances, and Valdosta sits at 50% odds. South Georgia viewers, comment your location. Now for Florida cities that could see historic snow. Tallahassee shows 55% accumulation probability with potential for 1 to 3 inches. Quincy faces 52% chances. Crawfordville shows 48% probability, and Monticello sits at 45% odds. Jacksonville faces 35% snow probability, while St. Augustine shows 40% chances. Northeast Florida, folks, this could be once in a decade. Gainesville sits at 30% probability. Ocala faces 25% chances, and Lake City shows 38% odds. Comment if you're tracking from these areas. Now let's examine North Carolina coastal cities. Wilmington shows 68% snow probability with potential for 2 to 4 inches. Carolina Beach faces 65% chances. Wrightsville Beach shows 70% probability, and Southport sits at 62% odds. Moving north, Jacksonville, North Carolina faces 58% probability, while New Bern shows 55% chances, and Morehead City sits at 60% odds. The Outer Banks present unique challenges. Nags Head shows 45% snow probability, while Duck faces 42% chances. Hatteras sits at 40% odds, though any snow here would be absolutely remarkable. OBX residents, definitely comment below. Virginia coastal areas show promise. Norfolk faces 58% snow probability with potential for 1 to 3 inches. Virginia Beach shows 55% chances. Chesapeake faces 52% probability, and Portsmouth sits at 50% odds. Newport News faces 48% probability. Hampton shows 45% chances, and Williamsburg sits at 42% odds. Tidewater residents, comment your city. Richmond shows 38% snow probability, while Fredericksburg faces 35% chances, and Charlottesville sits at 30% odds. Now let's examine the GFS model, which tells a dramatically different story with much more widespread snow potential. Under the GFS scenario, Charlotte faces 72% snow probability, with potential for 3 to 6 inches. A stark contrast to European model. Concord shows 70% chances, Kannapolis faces 68% probability, and Gastonia sits at 65% odds under this aggressive solution. Matthews faces 74% probability, while Pineville shows 71% chances. Greater Charlotte area, comment which suburb you're in. The GFS brings Atlanta's probability up to 68%, with Marietta reaching 75%, and Roswell hitting 78% chances. Buckhead shows 70% probability, while Midtown faces 68% chances, and Decatur sits at 65% odds under GFS guidance. Birmingham enters the picture with 55% snow probability under GFS, while Hoover faces 52% chances, and Vestavia Hills shows 58% odds. Huntsville faces 45% probability, Madison shows 48% chances, and Decatur, Alabama sits at 42% odds. North Alabama viewers, drop comments. Montgomery shows 38% snow probability under GFS, while Auburn faces 35% chances, and Opelika sits at 33% odds. Mobile faces 25% probability under this scenario, while Pensacola shows 30% chances. Gulf Coast residents, comment your thoughts. Tennessee cities enter the discussion. Nashville shows 35% snow probability under GFS, while Franklin faces 38% chances. Murfreesboro sits at 32% odds, Clarksville faces 30% probability, and Cookeville shows 42% chances given elevation. Knoxville faces 48% probability under GFS, while Oak Ridge shows 45% chances, and Maryville sits at 50% odds. Chattanooga shows 40% snow probability, Cleveland, Tennessee faces 45% chances, and Johnson City sits at 55% odds. Kingsport faces 52% probability, while Bristol shows 58% chances. East Tennessee folks, comment your elevation and location. Let me address some Virginia cities under the more aggressive GFS scenario. Richmond jumps to 55% snow probability. Petersburg faces 52% chances, while Hopewell shows 48% probability, and Colonial Heights sits at 50% odds. Lynchburg faces 45% probability, Danville shows 42% chances, and Martinsville sits at 38% odds under GFS guidance. Now I want to hear from viewers in smaller towns. Comment your city, even if I haven't mentioned it yet. Places like Orangeburg, South Carolina, Monroe, North Carolina, LaGrange, Georgia, Dothan, Alabama. Drop your location and I'll give you specific odds. Mountain communities especially need to comment. Blowing Rock, Banner Elk, Highlands, Cashiers, your chances are likely much higher. The Canadian model offers a third perspective, generally splitting the difference between European and GFS solutions. Under Canadian guidance, Charlotte faces 62% snow probability, Atlanta shows 58% chances, and Columbia SC sits at 68% odds. Coastal cities remain high confidence. Savannah maintains 85% probability. Charleston shows 88% chances, and Wilmington faces 70% odds. The ensemble forecast data provides probability ranges that help us understand confidence levels for each location. Ensemble probabilities show highest confidence along the coast from Savannah to Wilmington, with chances exceeding 75%. Moving inland, probability values decrease but remain significant for many Piedmont and central regions. Now let's discuss timing, because knowing when snow starts and ends is crucial for your planning. For Savannah and Charleston, snow onset appears most likely between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. Sunday morning. Columbia and Augusta should expect snow beginning between 8 a.m. and noon Sunday, with peak rates during early afternoon. Charlotte and Atlanta face more uncertainty, but any snow would likely begin Sunday afternoon under favorable scenarios. Raleigh-Durham and the Triangle region should watch for snow onset between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Sunday. Norfolk and Virginia Beach may see snow beginning Sunday evening, continuing into Monday morning. Jacksonville and northern Florida cities would see snow onset Sunday morning if the European solution verifies. Comment below what time you plan to wake up Sunday to check for snow. I want to track community excitement. Snow duration varies by location but generally lasts 6 to 12 hours for areas that see accumulation. Peak accumulation rates should occur during midday Sunday for most coastal areas. Temperature profiles will be critical, with surface temperatures needing to remain at or below 32 degrees for snow accumulation. Now let's examine travel impacts, because this is where southeastern snow events can become particularly challenging. Interstate 95 from Savannah to Richmond could experience hazardous conditions Sunday afternoon and evening. Interstate 26 from Charleston to Columbia may see significant impacts if accumulation occurs as forecasted. Interstate 77 through Charlotte and Columbia represents a critical north-south corridor that could be severely affected. Interstate 85 from Atlanta through Charlotte to Richmond faces variable impacts depending on storm track. Interstate 40 across North Carolina could see impacts from Greensboro to Wilmington under certain scenarios. Comment your planned travel routes this weekend so I can give specific guidance for your journey. Airport operations face potential disruptions. Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson could see delays or cancellations Sunday. Charlotte-Douglas faces significant risk. Charleston International shows high impact potential, and Raleigh-Durham may experience disruptions. Norfolk International and Savannah airports should prepare for potential operational impacts Sunday into Monday. If you have flights this weekend, comment your departure city and I'll assess your delay risk. School districts are already preparing contingency plans. Many systems across the Carolinas and Georgia are monitoring closely. Monday's school closures appear likely for districts that receive accumulating snow Sunday. Teachers and parents should prepare for potential Monday closures across the affected region. Comment if you're a teacher or parent wondering about your specific school district's closure probability. Now let's discuss the atmospheric dynamics driving this system, because understanding the meteorology explains the uncertainty. The 500 millibar pattern shows a deep trough digging into the eastern United States, providing upper-level support. At 850 millibars, we're tracking sub-freezing air as it penetrates deep into the traditionally warm southeast. Surface low-pressure development along or near the coast will determine which areas see the heaviest snow. The interaction between Arctic air and Gulf moisture creates the perfect setup for southeastern snow events. Temperature soundings will be critical, with even small changes potentially affecting accumulation zones. If you're meteorologically inclined, comment your thoughts on the 850 millibar temperature forecasts. Wind patterns will influence snow distribution, with northeasterly flow helping transport moisture inland. Precipitation rates could reach moderate to heavy intensities across primary accumulation zones. Snowfall ratios may favor efficient accumulation due to dry air aloft and optimal crystal growth zones. Let me address preparation recommendations for different scenarios based on your location. For high-confidence coastal areas like Savannah and Charleston, prepare as if snow is likely, with totals potentially reaching 4 to 6 inches. Stock essential supplies including food, water, medications, and alternative heating sources for potential power outages. Ensure vehicles have emergency kits, full fuel tanks, and proper tires for winter conditions. For moderate confidence areas like Columbia and Charlotte, prepare for possibilities while remaining flexible. Have backup plans for Sunday activities and Monday commutes, as even light accumulations create challenges. For lower confidence areas like Atlanta and Nashville, maintain awareness without over-preparation. Comment your current preparation level. Are you ready for snow or still deciding what to do? Regardless of location, prepare for prolonged cold temperatures extending well beyond the snow event. Protect outdoor plumbing, bring pets indoors, and ensure adequate heating fuel supplies. Agricultural interests should implement protective measures for crops and livestock across the region. Now let's examine the broader pattern implications for the remainder of January and early February. The Madden-Julian Oscillation is transitioning into phases 7 and 8, which favor continued cold and active patterns. This MJO progression suggests additional winter weather opportunities may develop through late January. Arctic oscillation indices support sustained cold pattern development, with negative values indicating northerly flow. Medium-range models hint at additional winter weather possibilities around January 24th to 26th, though details remain uncertain. This winter may become much more active across the southeast than initially anticipated. Comment if you're hoping for more snow events or if one is enough for you this winter. Energy propagation from the Pacific continues supporting amplified patterns across North America. Temperature departures could remain significant, with much below average readings likely through February. Let me address key uncertainty factors that make this forecast particularly challenging. Storm track variations of just 50 miles could dramatically alter accumulation patterns across the region. Surface low-intensity development will determine precipitation rates and overall accumulation potential. Atmospheric temperature profiles control the rain-snow line, with small changes affecting large areas. Event timing could shift several hours in either direction, affecting preparation and impact severity. Tonight's model runs will be crucial for refining forecasts and narrowing uncertainty ranges. The European model's consistency gives it credibility, but we cannot dismiss GFS amplification possibilities. Historical southeastern snow events often favor one scenario over blended solutions. We're likely looking at either coastal-focused or widespread inland snow, but probably not something between. Comment your gut feeling. Do you think this will be coastal-focused or more widespread? Let me share historical context that helps frame this potential event within southeastern snow climatology.
January snow events across the Southeast are relatively rare, but not unprecedented over the past 2 decades.
The January 2018 event brought snow from northern Florida to the Carolinas, demonstrating current forecast viability. January 2014's ice and snow paralyzed Atlanta, showing how modest accumulations create major impacts. Coastal events in 2016 and 2020 demonstrated how moisture streams up the coast, producing surprising accumulations. Infrastructure limitations mean even 1 to 2 inches can create significant challenges across the Southeast. Snow removal equipment remains limited, with many counties owning fewer than 5 plows for hundreds of square miles. Comment about your area's snow removal capabilities. Does your city/county have plows ready?
Salt and sand supplies are also limited since these materials aren't needed frequently enough for large inventories.
This infrastructure reality means modest accumulations can have outsized impacts compared to northern states. Let me provide specific timing guidance for the main snow event across different regions. Georgia coast should expect snow onset between 6 to 10 a.m. Sunday, with peak rates during midday hours. South Carolina Lowcountry faces similar timing, with Charleston area snow beginning Sunday morning. Columbia and Augusta regions may see later onset between 8 a.m. and noon Sunday. Charlotte and Piedmont areas would see afternoon onset if favorable scenarios develop. North Carolina coast should expect Sunday afternoon onset with continuation into Monday morning. Virginia areas face Sunday evening through Monday morning timing under current scenarios. Comment what you'll be doing Sunday morning. Will you be snow watching or staying inside? Snow conclusion times generally occur Sunday evening for southern areas and Monday morning northward. Accumulated snow should persist through Monday morning before gradual afternoon melting begins. Now, let me address frequently asked questions about southeastern snow forecasting challenges.
Temperature sensitivity remains the primary challenge, with small atmospheric changes affecting precipitation type.
Storm track variations of mere miles can dramatically alter which areas see heavy versus light accumulations. Moisture availability fluctuates based on surface pressure patterns and wind direction changes. Arctic air and coastal moisture interactions create complex dynamics challenging computer models. Elevation differences, while modest, create significant temperature variations affecting precipitation type. Urban heat islands in major cities can reduce accumulation potential compared to surrounding areas. Comment if you live in a major city center versus suburbs and whether you expect different impacts. As we approach the weekend, flexibility with plans and close forecast monitoring remains essential. Tonight's model runs will provide crucial storm track and intensity trend information. Friday's updates will offer highest resolution guidance before the event begins. Saturday morning data will provide real-time verification and final forecast adjustments. Maintain appropriate preparation while remaining adaptable to changing circumstances. I want comprehensive community engagement. Comment your city, current weather, and snow expectations. Share your local preparations and what aspects of this forecast concern you most. Tell me about your neighborhood's snow removal capabilities and historical snow experiences. Let me know if you have weekend travel plans and whether you're considering changes. Share photos of your current weather conditions and tag friends from your area to join the discussion. During the event, please provide ground truth reports with photos and accumulation measurements. Your observations will be invaluable for verifying model performance and understanding local variations. If you found this detailed analysis helpful, covering 60-plus cities, please subscribe and share with others. I'll provide regular updates as this situation develops, including tonight's model analysis and refined forecasts. Follow social media for real-time updates and additional discussion about this winter weather development. Thank you for engaging with this comprehensive forecast community. Your participation makes these discussions meaningful. Stay weather aware, stay prepared, and remember that southeastern snow events often surprise us all. Drop one final comment with your city and snow prediction. Let's see how accurate this community becomes. God bless everyone tracking this system, and I'll see you in the next update as this winter weather story unfolds.